Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Black Rose Chronicles, Battle and Betrayal, by A.K. Michaels. Narrated by Stephanie Rose. Chapter 1. Quan sat with his legs crossed on a sumptuous silk cushion. His hands lay open on his knees.
I am grateful for your time, my friend. I always feel better after speaking to you.
Ziandra cocked her perfect eyebrow. If that were the case, then you wouldn't have waited so long to visit, Quan.
I know. I apologize.
Quan replied guiltily.
I've had a lot on my mind lately.
Indeed you have, Ziandra said disapprovingly. Why have you not come to me before this? I could have helped.
Again, I'm sorry.
Quan shrugged.
I was hoping I could deal with things on my own. You know I hate to ask for assistance.
And yet, here you are, she smirked. And you still have not asked me for my help. Quan, you are aware I am always available to aid you.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Quan's eyes met hers.
May I respectfully ask for some support in this matter?
You know I will always assist you, my old friend. Ziandra smiled benevolently. I will be there when the time is set for the battle, and I'll bring 2 or 3 of my most able warriors with me. I'm afraid I can't take any more than that away from their duties. You're aware of the importance of what they are tasked with, and I can't leave their wards in any way unprotected.
I fully understand, Z.
Quan bowed his head.
They have a difficult enough mission without being left short-handed.
Exactly, Ziandra smiled.
The fact that you will come, together with as many as 3 warrior dragons, is far more than I could have hoped for.
Quan reached to pick up his teacup, sipping before chuckling. What's so amusing? She asked, cocking her head to the side, her long, sleek body draped over an antique chaise lounge.
I'm imagining the looks on their faces when you and your dragons appear.
Quan snickered again.
I'm sure none of them believe in dragons.
Well, Ziandra said, with a cheeky glint in her eye, I'll make sure to put on a show when we arrive.
You, my dear, always put on a show when you appear.
That's because I don't get out much, she grumbled.
We have had a lot to deal with since this apocalyptic war began,
Quan said sadly. Yes, we have, Ziandra agreed quietly. My guild of dragon warriors have been kept busy, and we lost a dragon only last month. The pain I felt was indescribable, Quan. Here, she patted her chest. Deep inside me, felt as if it were being ripped out. We have to deal with Basilius and his demons before it is too late.
That is what I am hoping for too, Z.
Quan looked off into space, visualizing the terrible battle he knew was before them.
I only hope we can defeat him and his disgusting horde.
We have to trust in what our future is, Quan, and I'm certain that our time will not end on the battlefield. Well, not this one, anyway. Stretching languidly, Ziandra grinned hatefully. In fact, I'm looking forward to getting my hands dirty for once.
We shall both be getting our hands dirty, as you put it.
Quan looked around, taking in the beauty and tranquility of Ziandra's home.
But I can't say I have the same enthusiasm as you appear to have.
That's because you're a man of peace, Quan. Ziandra flicked her long, dark hair over her shoulder. I'm more a tear-their-heads-off-and-ask-questions-later kind of gal.
I have never enjoyed taking a life,
Quan sighed.
Even those who were the worst kinds of beings, who'd carried out unspeakable acts. I still feel it clawing at my soul, Z. I wish I didn't, but I do, and that wears me down.
Quan, Ziandra sat up, swinging her long legs around. You are too pure of heart to take a life and not have it affect you. But we both know this battle is one we have to win. If we do not, then neither of us will be able to carry on in any way, shape, or form. So, my friend, it's time to man up and find your inner fierceness. If not for your own good, then for all the humans and other beings out there who want to live in peace. It is our duty, Quan. You know this.
I do.
Quan looked over at his oldest friend sadly.
But I don't have to be happy about it.
No, you don't, she agreed. But you do have to kick some demon ass.
Indeed, I do.
Quan stood. Are you certain it will come to this? Zeandra peered at Quan. Possibly Basilius will relent?
No.
Quan shook his head.
I doubt it, but I have sent an appeal to him to see if he will change his course of action. I'm awaiting his response.
I see. Zeandra's long neck swiveled around, taking in her home. I shall do anything in my power to help. I rather like this place, and I'm not moving for any demon.
Not any demon,
Quan reiterated.
This is Basilius, king of demons.
Pfft! She waved a perfectly manicured hand. Demon king or not, he's not going to win.
I sincerely hope you're right.
Quan, she grinned devilishly. Have you learned nothing in your long life? A woman is never wrong. Quan chuckled.
Of course. How silly of me.
I'll contact Jackson and advise that I'll be requiring his services.
Jackson?
Quan smiled.
He's still master of the guild?
Yes. Zeandra gave a cheeky grin. He is, and every time I see him, I wish I were human, or at least not a goddess. He's hot with a capital H.
Z,
Quan admonished.
He's out of bounds to you.
Don't I know it? She pouted. He's still the fiercest warrior I know, and he'll be an excellent asset in the fight to come.
I'm glad he'll be joining us.
Quan nodded.
I think we're going to need all the help we can get.
Don't fret. We'll make sure Basilius doesn't win this war, or get his hands on Rose.
I cannot allow that to happen, Z.
Quan declared.
He cannot be allowed to defile her power for good and manipulate it into something evil.
What are you saying, Quan? Zeandra asked, shocked. Are you implying something?
I'm not implying anything,
he said despairingly.
If we are losing, if the demons are winning, then I will have to do the most despicable act I can imagine. I will have to remove Rose and the power inside her, so Basilius doesn't get his hands on her. We both know the havoc that would wreak if he could use her to his own end. I absolutely cannot allow that to happen.
Quan, Z reached out, patting his shoulder. We'll do our best to ensure things don't come to that.
I have to prepare myself, Z.
Quan shook his head in misery.
The entire future of all the realms depends on Basilius being defeated, and not using Rose for his evil intentions.
My dear, sweet friend, Zeandra looked down at him with compassion. You are not suited to that task. It would haunt you for eternity.
Be that as it may.
Quan's shoulders drooped.
It would have to be done.
If you feel that is the only course of action, then I shall carry out the deed, Zeandra announced firmly. And I won't argue with you over this. Your soul could not carry that burden, Quan. Mine, on the other hand, would have no problem with the matter. I am a warrior at heart. We both know I'm better suited to the deed than you.
I cannot ask that of you,
Quan retorted. You did not, Zeandra replied firmly. I offered, and there is no need for further discussion. If you feel there is no hope, then all you need to do is tell me via our mind link, and I'll do the rest.
I hate using that. It's so uncivilized.
Quan ran a hand down his front, straightening his jacket.
So be it. Thank you.
No thanks necessary. Zeandra's eyes sparkled. You've done me many a favor. This doesn't come close to repaying you.
Z, I have never and shall never wish repayment for anything.
Quan cocked his head to the side.
However, if you continue to feel as if you have to return the favor, then all I ask is that you and your dragon warriors are there to help us.
Oh, hell yeah, Zeandra chuckled. I'm looking forward to it. My dragon hasn't had a good fight in such a long time. It's itching to inflict some carnage on Basilius and his demons. Maybe then I'll feel a sense of payback for his low-life shits killing one of my warriors.
You are a bloodthirsty goddess.
Quan shook his head.
But I think your mindset is just what will be required for this particular fracas.
You better believe it, Zeandra grinned evilly. Now, off with you. I have things to organize, too, and I need to check up on my dragons and ensure all is well with their charges.
How many were you able to save?
Quan inquired. Not nearly as many as I would have liked, her eyes full of sadness. But far more than anyone knows about. They are safe, in a valley that is almost self-sufficient, with a maze of tunnels in the mountain range that surrounds them. Most of the guild is there guarding them, while others are out still hunting for their kind. If they locate any, they offer them sanctuary, and so far, all but a few have taken them up on the offer.
Good.
Quan gave her a small smile.
That's good news in the face of all the bad. Now, I really must go, Z. So much to do, and so little time.
Zeandra stood, towering over him. I shall see you soon.
Yes. Thank you, my dear friend.
Quan looked thoughtful, his eyes wandering off to the side for a moment.
I have to check and see if there's been a response from Basilius, but I think we both know what that will be. He will never give up his quest to have Rose under his control.
I believe so, but we will not break before him or his demons. We will fight to the bitter end, Quan, and with good on our side, I pray we will prevail.
As do I.
Quan agreed quietly.
I shall let you know the where and when, Zeandra, and tell Jackson I look forward to seeing him, despite these circumstances.
I will, Zeandra sighed theatrically, her hand patting her chest. Is there any chance I can become human? I'd do anything for one night with him.
No.
Quan shook his head.
You cannot, and you'll have to curb your yearning for him, Z. It's forbidden, and I'd miss you if you were banished due to an indiscretion with Jackson.
Damn, she pouted. I can dream, Quan. I can dream.
Dreaming is allowed.
Quan raised an eyebrow.
But no acting on those feelings, Z.
I know. She flounced back down onto her chaise. A girl's gotta have dreams, though. Life would be rather boring without them.
Just focus on defeating Basilius. That'll keep your mind occupied.
All right. Zeandra waved him away. Shoo, away with you. I've got work to do.
I'll see you soon.
Quan smiled indulgently at the most beautiful woman he'd ever laid eyes on.
In the meantime, try and be good.
Pfft, there's no fun in that. But I'll try, she quipped back. Quan concentrated, and a moment later, he winked out of existence, traveling through space to materialize back in the human realm, the small cottage he called home, and which nobody knew of. Settled at the edge of a large forest, a brook running past the rear of the property, peace and tranquility filled the area. This was his place to return to for respite, calm, and to restore himself back to harmony and serenity. A soft, tinkling voice broke the silence as he stared out the front window. You're back. How did it go with Zeandra? Quan turned, his lips tugging up into a smile as his companion, Chandra, stuck her head out of her office.
It went well. She will help us, and she's bringing at least 2 of her dragon warriors.
Chandra clapped her hands. Wonderful.
Has there been any response to my message to Basilius?
Quan was certain of the answer, but still prayed he'd be wrong. I received a call earlier. Chandra frowned, her ebony skin puckering between her eyes. Orthon has advised that Basilius will be meeting us in battle if he doesn't get his hands on Rose. So I guess we have to accept there will be a rather nasty fight ahead.
It's what I expected.
Quan sighed, sinking down into an overstuffed armchair.
I'm not looking forward to this. Not at all.
Chandra stepped forward, her hands wringing before her. I can help. I was in the Elf Guard before I came to work for you, Quan. I'm an expert with a bow, and if I used spelled arrows, then I'd be able to take down some demons from afar. Quan's head spun in her direction, his eyes wide with horror.
Absolutely not. I forbid it, Chandra. You'll not put yourself in danger. This will be a battle like no other, and your place is not in the thick of it.
But I can help, she pleaded, standing up straight and crossing her arms defiantly.
I have no doubt of that, Chandra.
Quan looked up at her, his feelings showing in his eyes.
But I'll have enough to worry about, and I can't spare the distraction of fearing for your safety, too. Please understand that. This is going to be bad enough. The less things I have to divert my attention, the better.
I'm worried too, Quan. Chandra's eyes fell to the floor. What if something happens to you?
I'll be okay.
Quan tried to reassure her.
It's Rose I'm worried about.
She'll be fine, Chandra proclaimed firmly. I feel it, Quan. Rose will come through this alive. Maybe not unscathed, but I'm sure she'll be alive.
That's not entirely comforting,
Quan admitted.
Because it depends in whose arms she is in when this is over. Cassius's or Basilius's. That is the deep concern I have. Because if it's the latter, then all realms will be in danger.
Oh, Chandra looked worried. I'll pray for Basilius's defeat. Hopefully someone will hear me and aid in his demise.
I hope so, too.
Quan yawned.
For now, I need rest.
Chandra pointed to his bedroom door in the corner. Don't you dare sleep there. Go to bed, Quan. You've not slept in days, and you need to be strong and alert. So go to your room, actually sleep in a bed, and I'll wake you later with dinner. Quan yawned again, nodding.
Good idea.
As he wandered to his room, he clearly heard her mutter, Silly man, looks after everyone but himself. He stopped, turning to smile at her.
That's why I have you.
Humph. Chandra shook her head, waving an arm at him. Off you go. I'll wake you later. Quan nodded his thanks, slowly entering his sanctuary before he dropped onto his bed, fully clothed, and fell into a deep sleep. Chapter 2. Cassius propped his head up, staring at Rose lying next to him in his bed. Her beauty took his breath away as his fingers ran through strands of her hair. His heart beat with love while he watched her, his lips tugged up as she mumbled in her sleep.
Must be dreaming,
he thought as she turned toward him, her arms and legs entwining with his. The thought of Basilius getting hold of her turned his blood to icy rivers running through him. He'd do whatever it took to stop that from happening. He sighed, relieved when he thought of his friend, Calyx, who would be arriving shortly. Calyx would have his elite guards with him, and they were a force to be reckoned with. He was happy they'd be standing by his side when they faced Basilius and his demons. However, just the mere thought of Rose being there tugged at his guts in a way he'd never encountered before. Fear for someone he loved. The emotion was alien to him, and he knew he was going to have an argument on his hands when Rose woke. He'd never lost an argument before, and he hoped he didn't this time, but he had a feeling he just might. Cassius exhaled, trying to contain his emotions and remain calm. Starting the discussion while upset and fearful would most definitely not be in his favor. He may not have known Rose for very long, but he did know she would not respond well to his usual way of doing things. Barking out orders would not go down well with the Black Rose. Hell no. But he had to try. Had to give it his best shot at trying to keep her safe. Another long, drawn-out sigh escaped him as his emotions ran rampant through him. "What's wrong?" Rose's soft voice surprised him.
"What?"
He tried to put her off.
"Oh, nothing. Just work stuff."
"Yeah, right," Rose snorted, snuggling closer into his side. "And I'm Cinderella. So spill. What's up?"
"Nothing that can't wait."
Cassius grabbed her to him. His lips covered hers in a passion-fueled kiss. Her mouth opened immediately to allow his tongue access, which he eagerly took advantage of, plundering it with a raging thirst. His fingers tangled in her hair, tugging her head back to give him better access to her soft, pale skin. His cock was rock hard, bulging with need as it rocked against Rose's belly. Her soft moan as he moved to cover her naked body, driving his arousal higher, taking him to heights he'd never envisioned before. Not until her. His Rose. Everything about her drove him wild, especially her reaction to his touch. Her body awakened with erotic abandon as his fingers trailed around her already budding nipples. Rose tugged on his hair, urging his mouth to lower, and he gladly succumbed, sucking them into his mouth and laving the hard buds with his tongue. Rose's back arched, pushing her breasts up to meet him, as his knee nudged her thighs apart beneath him. He strained to contain his ardor, and failed. His cock thrummed with need to be encased in her warmth. Moving his hips to position himself and thrusting inside in one quick motion. Rose gasped as he entered her, followed by her hands gripping his shoulders tightly, her nails digging into his skin and drawing blood. Cassius tugged on a nipple one last time before moving upwards to stare down at her rapturous face. Her eyelids half closed, her pupils dilated, and her mouth slightly open as she panted. His heart swelled with love as her body matched his thrust for thrust, her legs wrapping around his ass tightly.
"You're my angel,"
he mumbled softly, Rose's resulting giggle surprising him. "Angel?" She shook her head before darting forward to nibble his bottom lip. "I'm anything but." Cassius's lips tugged up briefly before they covered hers once again as their desire raged furiously toward release. As soon as Rose's orgasm started, deep inside, he felt it, urging his own to surge forward. Her walls clamped on his cock, as if refusing to allow its departure from her body, each rhythmic contraction forcing his seed to erupt in a cascade of pleasure. An animalistic roar tore from his throat, reverberating around the bedroom, as Rose screamed his name. Collapsing on top of Rose, he sank his face into her hair, inhaling deeply.
"You smell exquisite."
"I smell of sweat and sex," Rose laughed. Cassius pushed up onto his forearms, cocking his head and grinning.
"As I said, you smell exquisite. I love scenting our lovemaking all over you, Rose. It's intoxicating in the extreme."
"Well, Buster," Rose gave him a hard shove. "I'm heading to the shower, and then we'll discuss what you so expertly avoided earlier."
"Moi?"
Cassius feigned ignorance.
"I have no idea to what you refer."
"Yeah, you do." Rose squirmed out from beneath him, punching his shoulder as she went. "And I plan on finding out what as soon as I'm clean and fed. So before you join me in the shower, call down and get me some food, please."
"I'll be there in just a moment."
Cassius grinned roguishly. Orthon squirmed as Basilius prowled around his office, his fury filling the room, and he hoped he wouldn't unleash it in his direction.
"Master, I don't know what to say. The council members have all but disappeared, and I cannot locate them, no matter how hard I try. I've used every threat I can think of, but I am still getting nowhere."
Basilius's head spun toward Orthon, his lips curled back in a snarl.
Useless. You're useless.
Orthon dipped his head, lowering his gaze so he couldn't see Basilius's burning orbs of anger.
I'm sorry. I'll try harder to find them.
Basilius strode to his desk, collapsing into his chair.
And who is the message from? Who did you say it was?
Orthon chanced to look up.
His name is Quan, and he has asked that you cease and desist from trying to recapture Rose. If you don't, then he says he is ready to meet you in battle.
Basilius's head reared back as he roared with laughter.
Cease and desist? Who talks like that? And does he have any idea who I am?
I don't know, Master.
Orthon shook his head.
Do you have a way to reply?
Basilius queried, his finger tapping his chin.
Yes,
Orthon said quietly, waiting on the rage he knew was coming. Basilius's face hardened, his eyes boring into Orthon.
Good. Tell this Quan, whoever the hell he is, that I'll find Rose, soon, and when I do, I'll make her suffer for running away from me. Also, tell him I'm ready and eager to meet him in battle, though I will need a time and place to accommodate him.
Of course.
Orthon started to back away, eager to remove himself from Basilius and his wrath.
I'll do it now, sir.
I look forward to this, and I have a feeling that this Quan won't come alone. I guess I need to assemble my own army to take care of him and his misguided cohorts. Nobody can stand against me and my demons.
Is there anything else?
Orthon whimpered.
Yes.
Basilius growled.
Fucking find me Rose!
Orthon scampered for the door, desperate to escape before Basilius decided to punish him. His heart hammered in his chest as he closed the door behind him. Relief at escaping unscathed ran riot through his body. His hands shook as he opened the email from Quan's assistant, typing furiously his reply. He doubted they expected any other answer to the one he was giving, but he hoped Quan wasn't a mere mortal. If so, then the fight would be lost before it even started. His abject terror of Basilius was growing each day, so much so that he could barely function every time he thought about when the Demon King would snap and kill him. Or worse, take his time and torture him to death. Orthon knew it would happen. He'd been in Basilius's employ for longer than any previous assistants, and every one of them had died a horrendous death. Orthon wasn't stupid. He knew it was coming. His only way out was if someone stronger came along and dealt with Basilius. That was a lofty dream of his, but he was aware the reality would probably be that Basilius destroyed anyone who stood up to him. I can dream, Orthon thought to himself as he went back to work, keeping one ear on the office behind him, just in case his master's fury unleashed in his direction. Chapter 3. Cassius watched while Rose finished her food, the simple sight causing his stomach to knot in dread at the thought of her facing Basilius. She kept sneaking glances at him, and he knew the time was fast approaching when he'd need to broach the subject. The firm set to her mouth as she looked at him alerted him that it was not going to be an easy conversation. Pushing her plate away, Rose sipped her coffee, staring at him over the top of her cup. Raising an eyebrow, she lowered her coffee to the table. Are you going to talk to me about whatever it is that's making you look like you're chewing a cow pat? He took a deep breath, attempting to put into words what he was feeling, knowing that mere words could never convey the true depth of what was going on inside him. Silence ensued for several seconds before he managed to get anything out, and all the while, Rose merely stared at him, her eyes locked on his.
Rose, I know you're strong, the most capable woman I've ever met, and I'm proud of you and the way you survived in hell. Most women would curl up in a corner somewhere and sob. Not you. No. You took your life, and those of others, in your hands, and fought to escape.
Rose nodded, confusion on her face. All right, but what about that makes you look as if you're upset? I've been taking care of myself for a long time, Cass. I'm used to fighting. It's second nature to me.
I understand that.
Cassius sighed.
I probably won't say this properly.
He stopped, working through the words in his head. "For goodness sake," Rose exclaimed. "What's up?"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?